I'm getting all the paperwork together to be able to immigrate to Canada. And let me tell you, it's expensive.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Dave Show. I'm Dave, and I'm so glad you're here today. Here on the show, we definitely dip our big toe into the pool of liberal madness, but we also do a little bit more, bring a little bit different content than I think a lot of the other shows out there, and I think that's something that sets us apart. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of what we're doing here on The Dave Show. All right, enough chit chat. Let's do it. Well, it was Earth Day yesterday, so happy Earth Day if you're into that, I guess. Not gonna fault you if you are. It's whatever, to each their own. But of course, that meant the eco-terrorist retards were out in force, spray painting whatever they could find. Of course, it was a Tesla dealership was one of them. And unfortunately, they also tagged the bull, which I believe is in Chicago. It might be in New York, but I'm pretty sure this one is in Chicago. But anyways, it's disgusting, and let's take a look. And of course, the best way to honor Mother Earth is to spray paint stuff, which is going to take toxic chemicals to get those items clean, and which will then actually do the opposite of, of what you're celebrating. So you guys are totally stupid. Next, we have Pete Hegseth talking about the military, the recruitment numbers that are up, and the warrior ethos that is being reestablished back into all of our military forces. It's about time, and God bless Pete. Let's take a look.
The Army, Air Force, and Marines, you are up 108% in November, 119% in February, 108% after the election, 105% with the Navy. With the Marines, up 112% and 100%. They are through the roof. The U.S. Air Force, 100% of its goal. Same thing in February. And Space Force is also booming, over 100%. I think the warfighters are happy to have a warfighter up top. Mr. Secretary, with all this controversy, everything swirling around, have you ever doubted your decision to take this job?
Oh, not for a minute. I didn't hesitate when the president asked me, and I haven't hesitated for a moment, because those numbers are a reflection of why we're here. We call it the Trump bump internally. The reality is when war fighting and lethality is brought back, and it's serious, that what we're doing here is serious about getting after soldiering and war fighting, American people want to come back in. They want to sign up. These recruiting numbers don't surprise me. They don't surprise me one bit. They're a reflection of a yearning from the American public, of young people, to be proud of their country, to be proud of their military, to make sure when they serve, they're given everything they need. That's why I've fought for the budget that the Defense Department requires. And the president has said we'll have our first $1 trillion budget, because my kids, my 14-year-old, if he joins, he's going to have a great military. He's going to have peace through strength because of the historic investments of this president. So, no, I haven't blinked, and I won't blink, because this job is too big and too important for the American people, and I'm grateful for every hour.
Yeah, I know we're like a few days out from Easter, so I am going to stop talking about it. But I saw this posting, and it just made my eyes roll. The mainstream media, they're so desperate to try to pin something, cause some kind of scandal for President Trump, no matter how big or how small and petty. And this is definitely one of those cases. They were complaining that President Trump used 30,000 real eggs for the Easter egg roll, while American citizens were just struggling to buy 1 dozen eggs for Easter. And some of them actually had to resort to painting potatoes. It's tragic. Let's just take a look at this stupidness that they have. Jeez. So it says Trump's White House is using 30,000 real eggs worth over $15,500 for their Easter egg roll. That does seem a lot. That seems rather expensive. Meanwhile, Americans dyed potatoes instead of eggs this Easter to save money. Now, maybe some people did that. I don't know. Whatever, I guess. But here's the counter to this this scandal, because Trump is just so horrible. Oh, but wait, 40,000 people and 64,000 eggs. What? In the 144th White House, Easter egg roll is underway. What is this all about? Okay, so the American Egg Board, I didn't even know there was such a thing, says there are 64,000 eggs on the South Lawn between the roll. Okay, and this was, of course, for President Biden. The North Carolina-based Braswell Family Farms is supplying 40,000 hand-dyed eggs, hard-boiled eggs, okay, blah, blah, blah. For the festivities, the additional 24,000 eggs hail from Sauter's eggs. Okay, so 64,000 eggs for President Biden, 30,000 eggs for President Trump. So if Trump bought 30,000 eggs for 15,000, that means President Biden had to have spent over $30,000 for, I don't know. There seems to be some sort of hypocrisy here. But I just can't put my finger on it. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, I found this next clip at Wesley Hunt TX. It's well done, and I think you might like it. It's talking about the Dems and just what a mess their party is in. So check it out.
Do you feel more or less safe now that President Trump is back in the White House?
More.
And why do you say that?
Because he's getting rid of the criminals.
Why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
You hear it all the time. Who will pick our crops?
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
What immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants. The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
So that's why Democrats are making, or should be making, a big deal out of this, right? That's why we're not letting this go. We're not letting any of these attacks on our Constitution go.
Let's say this in black and white. Either you're a U.S. citizen or you are not.
President Trump said the mass deportation of migrants in this country illegally would begin with dangerous criminals, the worst of the worst, they said.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
All over the United States, there are dangerous criminals.
They were going to kill a young girl, or they killed a young girl because it was a satanic ritual. What happened in the U.S.?
In our country. And if we don't start getting them out now, then when?
All right, this next clip talks about the Transformers, and I'm not talking about the robots, but the Transformers that we have that are part of our grid, and they are supplied by China. And you will not believe what was found in a back door coding wise, you know, not a literal backdoor. But yeah, the Chinese, they are a sneaky bunch, and it's not good. Take a look.
The summer of 2019, a massive transformer was seized at the Port of Houston by the U.S. federal government and the Department of Energy, put under federal escort to Sandia National Laboratory. This is during the Trump administration when we were serious about these things. Why? Why was that transformer seized? Why was it brought to Sandia?
Came from China?
Came from China. What did they find in it? Officially, we don't know. That report is still classified. But one of the Trump administration officials that worked at the National Security Council, Latham Sadler, he discussed on an interview how they had found a hardware backdoor in this transformer that would allow someone to remotely switch it off. That was 2019. May 1st, 2020, President Trump passed an executive order called Securing the Bulk Power System. President Trump declared a grid security emergency. At the time, our nonprofit was tracking the numbers of these things, these Chinese transformers. There's about 300 in the grid. That executive order was meant to address that threat. On the very first day of the Biden administration, that executive order was suspended and the floodgates were reopened to the importation of Chinese transformers. We pulled the numbers 2 weeks ago, 492.
All right, my friends, it is time. Sit back, relax, buckle up. We're about to enter the Lib Zone.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm just sad to say.
Man, did we dodge a bullet with Kamala not winning? Can you imagine having that person being the first daughter, I guess, representing our country? Gosh, what a mess.
Does your husband call you babe? I'm not married. Okay, so even better. I don't care. Okay, so I would like for you to apologize because that is derogatory, and second of all... Is tranny derogatory to you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course the fuck it is.
Tranny. That's derogatory. You are representing...
Wow, his voice changed real quick when he got pissed off and broke character, which just shows that all this stuff is just theater kid, performative, whatever you want to call it. It's a delusion, it's a mental illness, and these men are just, they're faking it. I mean, they might actually think they're women or whatever, but it's not a body thing, it's a mental thing. So, geez Louise. Man, his voice just like, I can't even get that low. That was a low baritone that dude had. Yay.
We have some major breaking news. Harvard University.
Why is it always major breaking with Sisson? It's not.
Just sued the Trump administration to stop Trump from freezing their federal funding. In a statement from the president of Harvard, he wrote, quote, "Dear members of the Harvard community, over the course of the past week, the federal government has taken several actions following Harvard's refusal to comply with its illegal demands. The government has, in addition to the initial freeze of $2.2 billion in funding, considered taking steps to freeze an additional $1 billion in grants, initiated numerous investigations of Harvard's operations, threatened the educations of international students, and more." Moments ago, we filed a lawsuit to halt the funding freeze because it is unlawful and beyond the government's authority. The consequences of the government's overreach will be severe and long-lasting. Research that the government has put in jeopardy includes efforts to improve the prospects of children who survive cancer, to understand at the molecular level how cancer spreads throughout the body, to predict the spread of infectious disease outbreaks, and to ease the pain of soldiers wounded on the battlefield. So that's a really strong statement from the president of Harvard. Harvard, and they're fighting back. They're not going to just sit there and let Donald Trump take their funding and jeopardize all of that terrific research. You really do love to see it, and I'm glad that they're finally stepping up.
Yeah, of course, all of the money that is being suspended, that the grants, the $1 billion grant, of course it's going to research cancer to help save the kids, to help save the vets. Because without this $1 billion, we're so close. We're so close to finding a resolution to just make cancer a thing of the past. Give me a break. I'm sure that if they got the $1 billion this year, that means they got probably around $1 billion the previous year, and the year before that, and the year before that, and probably a year before that. So where are the fruits of all this vital research to help the kids? I'm sorry, it's just a money laundering thing, if you want to get my personal opinion. I'm sure some of that money does go to some kind of research, and I'm sure they're probably doing some kind of, progress on that. But give me a break. Don't sit there and try to make it like kids and vets are going to die horrible cancer deaths if they don't get this money.
I believe that girls should have a little bit of fun, and so we should get to murder. Just have a little bit of fun.
What?
Okay. I like it.
Wow.
I think it's different.
What did you say? What the f did you just say?
So in the 1980s, we had girls just want to have fun, to now in the 2020s, we now have girls just want to murder. What is happening to our society? This is these people.
That's amazing. I didn't know that about you.
What do you know?
That you're a musician. But that's why I'm interviewing you today, so I can get to know you.
So I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck that mean? Make magic or something? What is musician?
I think you're confusing that.
Yeah, I'm not no musician. I make music. I make music. And that's not all I do. I make music, I act. I'm a TV star too, a young mogul.
Just really quick, I think you're confusing.
I'm not confusing nothing because you don't know. You thought that all I was a magician or whatever the fuck you said.
See, that's what I think you think I said. No, I said musician, not magician.
I don't think, baby, I don't think. What is that? That's ghetto. I don't think. I know.
So you
think.
I didn't say magician, Suki. I said musician. And I think you are a musician.
No, baby, I do music.
So you just really quick, for the record, could you say you don't think you're a musician?
I'm not none of that.
She's crazy.
But then after that, you just said I do music.
Yeah, I do music.
So, in other words, you're a musician.
No, no.
Okay.
Baby, I don't think. That's the problem with the libs. They don't think. Baby, I'm not a musician. I do music. That must have been a nightmare for that young lady to be in this ridiculous loop of illogical nonsense that jeez Louise. Anyways, speaking of illogical, let's check out this this vegan that doesn't seem to quite get it.
Yes, you are. I'm just trying to get you to the point. Vegetarians don't eat beef, meat, or pork. And what are you eating? What are you eating?
Birria tacos! She's eating birria tacos as a vegan.
Are you vegetarian?
I'm 1,000% vegetarian.
I'll give you bread with veggies.
No, I don't. I actually don't do bread.
You don't eat bread, but you eat pork.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that she's making the argument for being vegan, but she's eating tacos with meat. the little kid is just like, you're stupid. And then I found this little meme. These pop up they have different phrases, but like the same exact two pictures. But this one was funny, and it was relating to vegans and the stupidity that they show. I mean, not that they want to be a vegan. To each their own. If you want to roll with vegetables, fine. But don't be hypocritical about it. But take a look at this. It says gas and diesel is a fossil fuel made from dead animals. Therefore, vegans cannot drive. Now that is a logical deduction, but of course, vegans drive. So whatever. I know it's not a huge thing, but it's kind of funny.
I am going to who did they vote for to the motherfucking ground. Like, any scenario, my family will tell me, like, good news about a person we know. Like, they got their dream job, they're getting married, they're having a child. But who did they vote for before I decide I'm happy for them and I'm going to congratulate them?
Yes,
or, like,
I'm petty.
we told something, like, really tragic about someone and I'll be like, didn't they vote for this person? Why would I feel bad for them?
Because I'm a bitch. I'm a horrible person. My gosh, how petty do you have to be to do this? And you know she's not the only one that's this horrible in their thinking towards other people if they voted for the orange man. These people are mentally ill.
It's really sinister. I was actually at a bar recently.
It is
and
sinister.
I was talking to this guy. I was not interested in this guy. I was literally only talking to him because my friend was talking to his friend.
Oh, of
and he
course.
starts inching closer to me, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh no, this man is going to kiss me.
Why would she think that? Why would she just automatically go to, oh my gosh, this guy wants to give me a kiss? That seems pretty narcissistic, but I don't know.
Oh, light bulb moment. I know he didn't vote for Kamala. I'm going to kill the vibe real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I proceed to go, wait, before you step any closer, I need to kill the vibe and ask you who you voted for.
Yep.
He proceeds to tell me he didn't vote at all. So.
Damn! Efforts thwarted. How am I going to kill the vibe if he didn't even vote? Ugh.
I was like, okay, cool. This is done. And then I proceed to find out his friend asked me, why aren't you talking to my boy anymore? And I'm like, well, he told me he didn't vote. And he goes, why are you guys even talking about this right now? Like, we're at a bar. And I'm like,
exactly.
Who'd you vote for? He refused to respond. I ended up just leaving the bar screaming at him, telling him he hates women and he should stop speaking to and dating them because you don't like them. Yeah, I'm just gonna be that person that kills the vibe for the rest of my life.
How horrible of an existence must it be to be so petty that your whole desire in life is to be the official vibe killer? Jeez, what a horrible person. But hey, I mean, she's a lib, so you know what you're getting, right?
My friend got deported under Obama for a DUI, and he had been in the States since he was a baby.
What? Where's all the outrage for this person?
It happens under every administration, but the media just makes a big deal about it because it's under Donald Trump. 100%. Exactly what is happening. This guy just won the internet. You only care about it because the media tells you to. You're only outraged about it because the media tells you to. You only beat the pipe about it because the media tells you to. 5.3 million immigrants got deported under Obama, and not a peep from anybody on the left. Not a peep. And somebody in the comments said, well, Obama ran on reforming the system. And did he? Because that's all Democrats do. They use big words, they use nice words, and then they don't do shit. Donald Trump actually does what he said he was gonna do. That's it. You only care about it, again, because the media is telling you to. 5.3 million immigrants deported under Obama, and not a peep from anybody. So don't ever lecture us on anything ever again, because the last time I checked, you are not the one policing our streets and keeping our communities safe.
Yeah, it's interesting that during the Obama years, where's all the screaming about due process? We have to have due process, otherwise we're gonna just implode as a country and we're in a constitutional crisis because we can't give each one of these deportees a lawyer and a trial. We want due process. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, none of that was going on with Obama. But of course, because it's Trump and because all of you on the left are nothing but sheep, The Liberal Evolution. You can get that t-shirt. Official Idle Hands merch. But seriously, you guys are a bunch of sheep. You listen to the mainstream media. They tell you what to do. They tell you what to say. And then like robotic, socialistic zombies, you go out there and you just repeat the same garbage. And you become outraged over the next thing because it's what they tell you to be outraged for.
You understand you could end up in El Salvador. You could end up in El Salvador.
Wait, for what?
What?
For nothing, because they take innocent people. They don't give.
That's not fair. Miss Monique, hold your hand out.
And he's got tattoos.
What does that mean?
He's a member of a gang.
You're a gang member? Bro.
To further my point I just made, these sheep now think that anybody with a tattoo, they don't even have to be like, dark-skinned or whatever, or look Latino, but if you have a tattoo, you're potentially going to be swept up in these ICE raids and sent to the torture prison in El Salvador. It doesn't make any sense. These people don't make any sense.
When does life begin?
Conception.
So then should every life be protected post-conception?
If I or you became brain dead, and there was no chance of you ever waking up, you probably would want them to pull the plug. And if you disagree, that's okay. But I don't think that's the case.
Hold on, but
listening to that last debate, I was actually in a coma for 3 weeks.
Wow.
I was killed on Airport Boulevard here in Colombia on a motorcycle.
Wow.
And thank God they didn't cut me off, because I found God 1 year later, got baptized 2 years later, and it's the best thing that's ever happened.
I love how that first guy was talking like this so that he could sound a lot more intelligent than what he really is. You will believe my words because I'm talking very seriously.
Men can't control their emotions and abuse women.
Men can't control their emotions?
Yes, and abuse women. Excuse me, I'm angry. I'm angry and
Oh.
I'm loud. That's not emotional.
Oh, no.
Being persistent and passionate. And all the football coaches
Wow, okay.
yell at their little boys and say that's not emotional. That's a man.
I want to say I'm
Your
pro-life.
testosterone is what makes you illogical and emotional.
Women.
Yeah, it's just so rich that this woman is screaming at a man that women aren't emotional. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up, people.
What do you want? I pay for my food. I pay for my food. What are you talking? Why are you following me down the street? You need to get the back. You need to get back. Why are you following me? Why are you following me? What do you think? Why are you following me? What are you gonna do? Call 911. Call 911. If you need to settle something, you know who to call?
Yeah, they're over here. Let's go. I know them.
I'm okay. Go tell them. You go tell them.
Then you wait here. I'll call
You go tell them. You go tell them. I paid for my food. I handed you $20. You can't charge me more than what the menu say.
No,
so what are you talking about? Bro, I'm not legally required to give you a fucking tip. Get the back. Get back.
Jeez,
Get back.
that's so stupid.
Get back. Get back.
Get
Get back, bro.
Huh?
I'm telling you to get back.
Yelling
I'm
at
not
me.
trying to with you, bro. Bro, I'm not trying to with you.
My gosh.
I'm not trying to
Damn fucking yelling at me.
I'm not trying to with you,
You
bro.
shut your damn fucking mouth, man.
Why are you following me down the street?
You piece of shit, little piece of
I paid for my
smack
food.
the shit out of
Bro,
you,
I paid
punk
for my
ass
food.
man.
I
Jeez.
paid for my food, bro.
Piece of shit.
I paid for my food.
How the fuck you didn't think
Bro,
you make money?
I paid
piece
for my
of shit,
food.
huh?
I
How
paid
am I
for
staff supposed to make fucking money, huh?
So raise your price, bro.
Huh?
Bro, we can solve this chill, bro.
Chill, bro.
Chill,
Chill, bro.
We can solve this chill, bro.
I think we can say this is actually insane that this manager of the restaurant is making this huge deal, getting into this customer's face who said, look, I paid the $20, I covered my meal. Like, if you pay a nice tip on a $20 meal, I mean, what, we're talking like $2.50, $3 at the most, right? This guy's freaking out because he didn't make that extra $2. Come on.
Hi, I'm
Hey.
Stacy.
Okay, Stacy.
and
I'm Dave.
I'm a lesbian. My wife happens to be trans.
Oh, well, I'm hetero, and my wife is also hetero. So, okay, we've got that out of the way real quick because there's no need to even bring that up. But okay.
So the United States is a pretty scary place for us right now.
Oh, yeah.
And while
Horrible.
this is my dream home, I went and painted every room in it. And
terracotta?
even hand-did some stuff and changed the floors and thought I would never leave.
Yeah.
But if things really hit the fan, I need to make sure that my family is safe. And so I'm getting all the paperwork together to be able to immigrate to Canada.
Wow. Okay.
And let me tell you, it's expensive.
What?
Had to pay for the security background checks today.
Okay.
That doesn't count paying for the actual fingerprinting that goes along with that.
Of course.
And looking into the language tests that have to be taken by every member of my household.
Wow, okay.
And the cheapest I can find is $240 per person.
That's a grift.
Not to mention that Canada also requires that for a family of 3, you have over $22,000 in savings that you can access.
So I'm kind of confused because, like, so Stacy, who, thank you, by the way, for right away establishing that you're a lesbian. I was really wondering. But Stacy says she's a lesbian and her wife is a trans. But then wouldn't that make her husband a man pretending to be a woman? So she's really in a hetero relationship. And on the flip side, if it's a trans man, so woman pretending she is a man, outwardly that would still put Stacy in a hetero-looking type of relationship. So I don't know what's going on there, and quite frankly, just stop talking about your sexuality right off the bat. Nobody cares.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Over here, got his fucking gal. He's got his gal. Look at her. Look at her. Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. In
high
the
heels,
fucking heels.
high heels and everything.
Homie's sitting here in his little dorky ass shits. Homegirl's over here handling it.
Handling it.
Look at this fucking
handling it.
Yeah, she's fucking handling it. What are you doing, Hope? She's fucking handling it right there. What's up?
Is she handling it?
Yeah. Yeah. That yeah. What are you doing there? Why don't you fucking help her? God damn, son. All right. Get you a girl like that. Woo!
The age of men is over. The time of the woman has come.
I'm pretty sure when they decided to go fix the tire that the conversation in the car went something like this. Oh, hey, I better go fix the tire. The man speaking. And then the woman's like, oh, hell no. I'm not going to have no man fix the tire, right? So she probably went all girl boss on the guy and insisted that she fix the tire. So he's probably just like, all right, F it. I'm just going to sit back and watch and let you do everything if that's what you really want. Oh, boy.
You dog.
You're the one swerving. I was just following you.
I'm the one swerving.
Oh,
I'm the one swerving.
Yeah, it was actually
you. Yeah.
There's your okay.
That has to be some of the fastest karma I've ever seen.
All these people over here at Alameda Beach because this thing, we don't even know what it is. Wash the shore. Okay. What? And these fools are wanting to sing to it. So anyways, if you're a marine biologist, let us know.
Really? Seriously? You don't know what it is? I think somebody in 4th grade could tell you exactly what that is. Wash it up on your beach, lady. It doesn't take a marine biologist to know that is something called a whale. Jeez.
It had to be said, the Oregon State Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands, it had a stinking whale of a problem.
Learned, my friend. Don't put TNT next to a whale to try to get rid of it. It's not going to end well for anybody. Oh man, I can only imagine being showered with blood and guts and chunks of blubber. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. All right, my friends, we definitely need a detox. Let's roll it. It's time for Dave's Detox. Oh my gosh. Looked like it was dead. Yeah. Typical cat. Again, typical cat.
All I'm saying is don't give me attitude.
Oh boy. Aw, look at that. That is a loving bird.
Talk shit. Talk shit. Do not.
Dogs are funny. Oh my. Oh gosh. No. Nope. Aw, it's waking up. She's freak out. He's got two cats.
Kevin.
Aww. Oh, that's so cute.
Why did you do that?
That's funny. Just chilling. Here's the baby coming. He's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? All right, my friends, that wraps up another episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, slap that bell around, and tell your friends about Idle Hands and what we're doing here. All right, until the next episode, stay safe, know that you are loved and appreciated, and of course, until we meet again, have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Let the thoughts build up until I can't hear.